Hello everyone and welcome back to Make Believe. Well, we're playing the house in Fata Morgana. Last time we went back to the mansion in present time. However, the maid wasn't beside us. And after talking to a man in a painting, we got a key and explored around the house. Thanks to the key, we were able to go to the master bedroom and multiple places that we went. We kind of saw like a spirit of somebody in the past, but we couldn't quite make out who it was. Most of these were from the areas we visited before, but the master bedroom, for example, was different. Anyway, we're back with the maid and going to the next era, where it seems like this is gonna be the worst one yet. So, let's see. That on a pot, set it on, and also pour water into it. Gather the pieces thereof into it, even every good piece, the thigh and the shoulder. Fill it with the choice bones. Take the choice of the flock, and burn also the bones under it, and make it boil well. Let them see the bones of it therein. Thus saith the Lord. Woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece. Let not lot fall upon it. Okay, very weird. Oh, we're starting with White Hair Girl again. Where is she? Where'd she go? And seems like she's already in a bad situation. She came down this way. I'm sure of it. Find her. Find her. Burn her. Burn that witch. Burn the witch. Burn the witch. Burn the witch. Burn the witch. Burn her. 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 Well, and will I leave thee upon the land, I will cast thee forth upon the open field, and will cause all the fowls of the heaven to remain upon thee, and I will fill the beasts of the whole earth with thee, and I will lay thy flesh upon the mountain, and fill the valleys with thy height. I will also water with thy blood the land wherein thou swimmest, even to the mountains. And the rivers shall be full of thee. And when I shall put thee out, I will cover the heaven, and make the stars thereof dark. I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon shall not give her light. All the bright lights of heaven will I make dark over thee, and set darkness upon thy land. What the heck is going on here? This is like a prayer, but a very dark kind of prayer. Talk about sinners, like burning down sinners or stuff, and bringing darkness upon land. What? Seem to have lost them. Now, where am I? Where should I go from here? What am I to do? Are you gonna find the mansion? Darkness spread as far as the eye can see. Not a ray of light shines down upon me. All that strokes my cheek are tendril of darkness. Every passing day, every fading hour, my world is engulfed in ebony. There exists no kindness in this shadow, only solitude. I lost track of how long I've been on the run, wandering aimlessly, lost, until I arrived at this dark forest. I no longer have anywhere to go. O Father, who art in heaven, I kneel to thee within my heart, and ask of thee thine blessing. O Father, who art in heaven, I ask of thee to shine thy light upon me, and show me the way. Please have mercy upon my soul. O Father, who art in heaven, I do love thee dearly, hallow be thy name. Please show me the way. I may be shunned and persecuted, I may have no place to go, but nevertheless I am unable to give up on life. Cast aside my hope. O Father, who art in heaven, please guide me unto salvation. O Father, who art in heaven, please guide me. I no longer remember when my life became naught but running, when it became endless wandering in the dark. And now, when I reach the point where I've long since forgotten my hunger and thirst, my voice has become hoarse, my vision gone blurry, and my consciousness begun sinking into a hazy morass. That mansion appears before me, wrapped in a morning fog that seems to foretell rain. Yup, and thus the mansion appeared upon her. Ooh. Okay. We're having the shade. And wait, the hairstyle. Isn't that the same hairstyle she had on the shadow image we saw in the master bedroom? So, was that related to this? Oh my. Oh my indeed. The mansion comes into view like the world fading in after a dream. It doesn't appear as though anyone lives here. All the windows are either boarded up or shredded, as if it's long since been abandoned. A tower, which seems out of place in a personal residence, stands tall beside the mansion. The whole building seems as though it could disappear with the fog. It has an unwelcoming presence, freezing me in my tracks. However, if this is where you have led me, then I shall follow your guidance. Having nowhere else to go, this mansion is my only salvation, a light that guides my way. And so, I must have faith that no matter what I find, whether spirits or wild beasts dwell within these walls. No, don't worry, the beast's already gone. That this is where I will find peace. Wait, is it gone? Or is this before all of that? So therefore, the beast's actually gonna come in the future. I kind of forgot the timeline here. Not like it matters. Is anyone there? I guess it is abandoned. That makes sense. It would be more unusual for someone to be living in a house so deep in the woods, so far from civilization, like it's been forgotten to time. I can't imagine anyone spending their days here. I place my hand on the front door. What if I can't get in? I very much doubt I'll find anywhere else to stay wandering around through the woods. If the door doesn't open, then I'll die out here in the forest. I've come to accept much, but I'm not ready to forfeit my life just yet. Please open. The door is heavy, and I thought it seems to protest my attempts to enter. It still opens much easier than I was expecting. I was worried over nothing. Looking in, I get the strangest impression light is being swallowed up into the mansion's depths. Rather than go inside, Feels as though I'm about to step outside the boundaries of the world. That is kind of creepy sensation. When I close the door, it's so dark I can't even tell where I'm walking. I wonder if the window's open. Though I manage to fumble my way over to the window, it's tightly shuttered and the shutters are caked with rust. Probably not getting it open without a fight. If only I had some source of light. I can't even see my hand waving in front of my face. Feels like the floor will fall out from under me, and I'll sink into eternal darkness if I don't watch my step. Fighting back that fear, slowly walk forward, tracing the wall with my hand. There's a door at the end of the long corridor. I pull it open, and a wisp of bone-chilling air brushes past me. Too dark to see anything, but I can feel something different present in this area than the rest of the house. Uneasiness grips me. Ooh, the tension's up. I have no idea what's going on in this room. Is anybody here? My voice simply disappears into the void. No response. As I'm pushing forward through the freezing air, for a split second, I spot a shimmer of light. Squinting my eyes, I'm able to make out a large window. Unlike the others, not shuttered, but covered by drapes. My chances are slim, I imagine, but if there's even a slight possibility of getting some light in here, it's worth a shot. So I pull open the drapes. Oh. So this is where she is, in the chapel part that mentioned. The next moment, faint but colorful light shines down upon me. It's stained glass window. From beyond the glass, I can hear the subtle pitter-patter of rain. I guess it finally started. The different colors of light blend into a milky white, dim but wondrous. It's gorgeous. Why would someone cover this up? Beautiful. With a little more light, it'd be. Please, not touch the drapes or the windows. Suddenly, I hear a voice. I can sense someone else in the room. I can. The man's voice is emotionless, neither deep nor high. Before long, he comes into view, illuminated by dull orange candlelight. Yeah, Michelle. The same one we saw in that painting last time. I think it was after the era of the beast and before the era of innovation that we had to backtrack to it. Uh, um, I'm, I'm sorry for coming in uninvited, but I did announce myself. The man stands there, practically blending in with the darkness. Yeah, has he been there the whole time? He's staring straight at me. His gaze wavers slightly, but not enough for me to read anything in it. The candle in his hand and the light from the stained glass window are the only illumination in the room, neither of which are particularly bright. As a result, his outline is faint and blurry. It gives off the impression that he might vanish entirely between blinks. My apologies. I assumed the house was abandoned. I suspect you would have preferred it to be abandoned. Not at all. Is this, do you live in this mansion? Yes, I have for a very long time. I thought I had barred the front door, but it would seem I left it open. What brings you here? I, you're lost. I'm happy to give you direction. There is a village west of here. It should take you maybe a half a day on foot. If you're in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. Yeah, this conversation is very deja vu here. Because I feel like we did see this back then when we went to the painting. Trade it for food at the village, then make your way to a larger town. Please, allow me to stay here. Could you repeat that? I cannot go to the village. No, I cannot go anywhere. I am no longer able to really return to any town. Being hunted. You seem rather young. Be a sinner. So you have transgressed. I am neither a thief nor an adulterer. If I bear any sin, then it has been with me since birth. I will do everything I can to stay out of your way. I simply ask that you grant me shelter until all blows over. If you wish to know of my transgression, I'll tell you. So please, do not throw me out. See. And do you ask this of me, aware of how people refer to this mansion? Pardon? It is said that a witch once lived in this house. And not just anyway. Cursed witch. This house has been tainted by her seething hatred, and all who dwell within it meet their demise. But you live here, don't you? Like her, I too am cursed. Huh? What kind of curse? The one thing I can tell you is that your life is in danger if you get involved with me. Should you approach my curse, I am likely to take your life. You will kill me? Yes, though you do not belong here. You live with me in this mansion. You should sentence yourself to death. No matter what path I choose, I very much doubt I have a future. And if that's the case, then I shall live how I want. I don't care what people say about you, or this mansion. I wish to stay here. You might think I'm rather strange, but my heart tells me that I must stay here, that I was guided here. And hearing what you have to say only reinforces that. What are you scheming? I am not scheming anything. I am simply tired of running. Though if your curse is going to kill me, then perhaps that's for the best. At the very least, you won't be hunting me then. You won't try to flay me, or tear off my arms, or rip the flesh from my bones. That's enough for me. You have committed no sin, and why do they hunt you so fervently? I am accused of being a witch. And suddenly, he loops back around. Master? Master? Please, wake up. Return to me. Ah, have you come to, Master? I apologize for sending you through the door without warning. It must have given you quite a scare. But I beg your forgiveness. I heard a terrible screaming from down the stairs, and I panicked. You say you saw the white-haired girl? Me. So you made it into the world beyond the door before me. I am deeply relieved that I was able to take your hand before losing sight of you. I presume you have already grown familiar with the atmosphere of this time period, Master. If you have seen her, you said, then you should have a basic grasp of the situation. She was a very misfortunate girl in this era, accused of being a witch, abused, and persecuted. Her life was in constant danger. It was, again, her appearance that brought this upon her, because of her white hair and red eyes. That snow white hair and those ruby red eyes clearly differentiated her from everyone else. Okay, she just was more eloquent than me, with no white hair and ruby red eyes, than just saying white hair and red eyes. Oh, and I apologize. I neglected to mention this door is unique. As for what sets it apart, that will be made clear as we proceed. Though one difference is in the time period. The tales I have shown you begin with that of the beautiful flaxen hair family, followed by the tale of the bloodthirsty beast, and then the tale of steel and ambition, proceeding in chronological order. Yeah, okay, so this one happened way before those. However, the door we have just entered takes us to the period now known as the Middle Ages, long, long before the other three tales. Yes, that is correct. This is where it all began. Dimension's curse, the truth of the witch, and your identity. All of this should be made known. If, after this tale, you're still unable to reclaim your old self, then there's nothing more I can do. This door contains the last tale I'm able to tell you. So I ask of you, please do not let go of my hand until it's all over. Now then, let us begin a beautiful, tragic love story of two solitary souls trapped in a mansion of darkness. A love story? Oh, is it gonna be between the silver haired maiden and Michelle? In that era, the mansion was a dungeon draped in darkness. After a great deal of time on the run, the white haired girl found herself at a remote mansion that stood in a dark, overgrown forest. Also, I'm not too fond of the music on this one. I much prefer the era of innovation and then the era of the flaxen hair family. All the windows were either boarded or shuttered. It was even darker inside the house than out. Not even a ray of moonlight could enter those walls. Only naturally, the white hair girl. Oh, hold up. No. Only naturally, the white hair girl had assumed that nobody lived here, but her guess was incorrect. Someone did. Indeed, while in the house, it was a young man named Michel. Wait, what? Hold on. I do not remember this thing. You, having been trapped in perpetual darkness, found light in the same house where I wither away. That light was bestowed upon you by a certain woman, was it not? Leave everything to me, my dear. I promise I shall make this into the most beautiful tale. Yes, I'm giving you special treatment. A rare act of kindness from me, of warmth. Do not wish her to know the truth. I can make better use of her like this. So it is to both of our benefit. To rewrite the woman you love. Hold on, what? Okay, first of all, there is some other parts. Okay, what? The script is so different here. What? First of all, why is some of the dialogue cut? Yeah, like, we saw the full dialogues on this, yet they're kind of cut. Is there any other red? There is, up here. Wipe them away for physical happiness. Allow me to show you that you have no need of the past. Okay, so apparently I'm gonna need to be paying attention to this log. Because there's a lot of being different here and hidden. Because we also had this. After she said that I'm accused of being a witch before the maid woke us up. My lifeblood was your sustenance, your prosperity. Upon my blood did you build your lives. A sin so great it shall never be forgiven, and by my blood were your lives extinguished. This is the power granted unto me by God. My blood shall become a curse, blotting out the stars. I am the witch, Morgana. Now let us begin a tale, the beautiful finale to this world. Whoa. I accidentally found some information because I accidentally put on automatic, like auto. Let me just reread it this one to myself to comprehend what is going on here. So is this Morgana talking, and she's talking about the maid when she's saying, certain woman you do not wish her to know the truth. So are you talking about I do not wish for the maid to know the truth? To rewrite the woman you loved. Huh. That is so interesting, but I definitely need to pay attention to this log. It was a young man named Michel. Though she could not make out the details of his face in the candlelight, she thought him a very handsome man. However, he proclaimed to her that a witch resided within the mansion, and that he too was cursed. Everyone who got close to him lost their lives. Do you think that what he told her was all nonsense? A lie devised to chase her out of the house? The truth of the matter should come to light in time. Okay, transition. Do we have anything? No. Despite Michelle's surgeons, the white-haired girl decided she would take up residence within the mansion. This area's white-haired girl was younger than the others. She was still in her early teens, young enough to be seen as still a child. Yeah, I'm not sure if if that was Morgana talking, and to me, if she's talking about the white-haired girl or the maid. Because she's only referring as her or that woman. But she was neither as self-centered nor responsible as you might expect someone of her age. She was very delicate and reserved, and acted with a great deal of modesty and restraint. The accusation of her being a criminal and a sinner were grossly inappropriate. Nevertheless, she was still chased from her home, barely managing to flee to this mansion with her life. Now, I do wonder if how long have those messages been hidden in here and I have not realized. Now, the white-haired girl thought it would be rude to simply take up space in the mansion, so she chased down the master, Michel, and asked, is there anything I can do to help? I will clean, or cook, or do anything. Just let me know. I want to repay you for allowing me to stay here. You need not, you indebted to me. The weight of the obligation will only turn to this day. But you can't just stay here and do nothing. Do whatever you like. As long as you do not enter my room. That is all I ask. He said emotionless, turning away and walking off. Michelle was not, I believe, warning her. He was merely disinterested. He did not treat her disrespectfully, nor did he seem averse to her presence. Words simply did not seem to affect him at all. Not only to mention a prison for his body was also a prison snaring his heart. I should still do whatever I can, but she did not let that catch her down. In fact, she might have even interpreted his disinterest as kindness. Though he was a bit standoffish, he did not attempt to cause her harm. He was nothing like the people who had accused her of being a witch and forced her to flee from her life, and she was deeply grateful for that. Yeah, now I'm a bit paranoid, like always checking the log now. Thus began their quiet life together. Michelle, who avoided contact with others, and the white-haired girl, had taken a great deal of abuse from others. Two people who knew hardly anything about one another, who were too distant to really be said to be living together. Michel spent most of his days in his chambers, though they only ever saw each other occasionally, though they hardly ever spoke. Though they stayed in the same house, they both still lived solitary lives. Nonetheless, the white-haired girl wanted to get to know Michel better. Michel? I just realized there's a... No, I don't know why I thought there was a T here. So it's not Mitchell, it's Michel. I wanted to know why he called himself cursed. Why he lived alone in this dark mansion. How many days, how many years he had spent here in solitude. And while she waited for the opportunity, she also started doing things around the house. The first project she set out to take care of was cleaning. As the windows were all firmly shut, our only source of light was candles. For whatever reason, there was a great deal of candles stored in the cellar. She wondered where on earth he had acquired so many, but she never found opportunity to ask him. It was difficult to even see all the dust and cobweb with only candlelight, and considering the poor airflow through the house, she was afraid her efforts were going to be in vain. Still, she persisted, sweeping and wiping things down, one room at a time. Eventually, she made her way to the library. The dust that had settled there was much heavier than in any other room. With each breath, she had to fight back coughs. It was not a room one would normally be comfortable spending much time in, but the sight of so many bulky volumes lining the shelves sent her heart aflutter with delight. And I just remembered the library that we visited while exploring Dimension Alone, that the books kept falling on us. They're books. incredible. Real books. The white hair girl had never seen a book before. She had heard people describe them, but that was the first time she had ever seen one for herself. Parchment was a very valuable commodity in that era. It was something monks or scholarly priests made use of, and not a material one could easily acquire without some degree of social rank. That very much reminds me of the era of the Flaxen Hair family. Books were not printed with machines, but copied by hand, which made sense since he was the first one in chronological order we saw before this. A single volume took an incredible amount of work to create. Even the process of binding was an art. Standing before a shelf, she stared intently at the spines. That's so much dust. Does he not read any of them? Just a peek. Just a tiny little peek. She said, making excuses to the empty room as she reached her hand towards one of the books. The tome that caught her eye was on the upper shelf. It bore gorgeous jade embossing and looked like it belonged in a treasure chest. Have not looked in a while. Okay. Almost. Though she and the tract older than her age, the white hair girl was still in her early teens and not especially tall. Even standing tiptoe, it was still just barely within her reach. At long last, her slender fingers made contact with the spine, and she began to pull the book towards her. Ah, the library had sat abandoned for some time, causing the covers to stick together. So when she attempted to pull one out, several others tilted with it. Yep, and maybe that's why all the books were falling on us back then. And then, almost all the books on the shelf came avalanching down onto her. Ow! The white hair girl groaned, buried under a mountain of parchment. She hoped she had not damaged any of her host's valuable collection, for the mess was enough of a setback already in her attempt to express her gratitude. Looking around, she saw one volume that was almost torn in half. Oof. She did not know whether it was in that condition before, or if it had happened in the fall. Maybe it happened in the summer or spring. But nonetheless, she felt horribly guilty. Sitting there, Unable to get back to her feet, tears began welling in her eyes. Then, suddenly, a shadow fell over the dejected girl. Is that Michelle? It took a book in its hand and returned it to the shelf. Yep. For a brief moment, Shadow's hand reached hesitantly towards the white-haired girl, then changed course towards another book. Ah, it was Michelle. There was a hint of perplexity in his otherwise emotionless eyes. Perhaps he had heard the noise and come to see what had caused it. I'm so sorry. Your books, What were you doing? Uh, uh, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make a mess. I didn't mean to damage such precious books. There's no need to panic. I'm sorry. You make it sound as though I'm admonishing. What? Did you want to read a book? I do, but that's not what I originally came here to clean. Clean? Yes, I feel guilty simply being idle. You did say you could do as you pleased, but you have no responsibility to clean anything. I just end up making a bigger mess anyway. What? Um, see, it's... Why is it cutting off the dialogue? Huh, interesting. Very curious. I'm sorry. You needn't apologize. Oh, okay. You want to read? Help yourself to any of the books. But I don't know how to read. I just thought the cover was pretty, so I wanted to hold it. You're free to use them however you want. Looking at them is enough for you, by all means. These are all your books, aren't they? They are. That's incredible. You have so many. Must have taken you a long time to acquire them all. Per month. What? My family sends me one every month. Every month? The white-haired girl turned her gaze towards the shelves, winking her eyes and beginning to count. When she finished, she was in awe. There were an excess of 100 books on the shelves, which meant he had lived there in solitude for many years. She was at a loss for words. Their dull tomes, dreadfully inoffensive, not even interesting enough to waste a few hours. Decoration, all they're good for. I see. You can put them to some use, and perhaps having them won't be entirely meaningless. I'm going to return to my room. Don't feel obligated to clean up. Just a minute. Was there something else? You tell me your name? I just realized I never asked for your name. Not knowing what to call you will make a conversation awkward. I don't need my name to. I want to, though. Did she actually interrupt without me having to press anything, or was that whole auto thing again? Michelle. Michelle, like the Archangel. The name suits you quite well. Michelle? Suits me. It does. Although it's difficult to see you in the dark, you seem to be a very handsome man. Fitting of your name. Beg to differ. Giving me his name is the highest form of mockery. I expect a real archangel, probably rather annoyed by it. I don't know. I think it's a wonderful name. Hmm. And your... Hmm? No. Never mind. Yeah, it's not like we're gonna be able to learn her name anyway, right, game? Oh, my name? Hmm. My name is Giselle. Of course, the one moment I expect we don't learn her name, she actually gives us her name. So the white hair girl is called Giselle. And look at that. So cut. So I wouldn't be able to see it. Please, call me Giselle. And instantly that here did not change to Giselle. It's still the white hair girl. Oh, thank goodness. For what? I was able to get your name and talk to you for a little bit. We haven't seen much of each other since I first arrived. I'm glad that I got to hear your voice. So very glad. You gain nothing by speaking to me. You have no responsibility to do so, and there is no need for you to feel joy about it. I'm not pleased out of some sense of responsibility or necessity. Just depressing not being able to have a conversation with someone living in the same house. You do not understand me at all. As I said on the first day, my curse will one day kill you. But I'm still alive, aren't I? You're welcome to believe I'm lying, or that I'm merely out of my mind. But it will be too late when you realize the truth. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Even if I do die because of your curse. I promise I won't hold a grudge. Could you possibly be keeping away from me out of concern? No, I simply have no interest in interacting with anyone. I would like to interact with you though. If you don't mind, that is. As I told you, you have nothing to gain from that. I have nothing, not even words, to give you. My body is but a shell, even if I were not cursed. My presence do not will cause you discomfort. I don't think that's true. I don't believe that there's anyone in this world with absolutely nothing. There's plenty inside you. You simply haven't noticed yet. And not all of it will only cause others pain either. If you truly believe those words, then you're a foolhardy girl. How can you trust someone you only just met? For that matter, how do you not resent everyone? Resent them? I can take a guess to why people call you a witch, and why you had to flee all the way to this man. Your white hair and red eyes. See, okay, he said white hair, red eyes like I did. That abnormal, seemingly inhuman appearance through their condemnation. And I can think of any number of reasons they might have started treating you less than human. Perhaps people around you experienced misfortune, or perhaps there was a natural disaster, famine, plague, some kind of external phenomenon. And you were their scapegoat. Yes, you are, by and large, correct. And that would make me as unworthy of your trust as anyone else. I make no claim to having your interest in. Goodbye. If you don't mind, could you teach me how to read sometime? Did you listen to anything I said? I listened, yes. I have no intention of idolizing you. I don't expect you to do anything for me, and I don't wish to burden you in any way. I simply wish to be allowed to be at your side. It does not matter to me what kind of person you may be. That is all I want. I apologize for keeping you. Please consider it if it's not too much trouble. As the master of the house, Michel made his way out of the library. He appeared to be slightly rattled. Perhaps the white-haired girl's determination had ignited something in his chained heart. Or perhaps it was something else entirely. Giselle stared down the darkness into which Michel had disappeared. Then she carefully wrapped her arms around the jade-embossed tome, a soft smile spreading across her lips. He's a decent man, I'm sure of it. We're alike, he and I. And thus began to blossom within her a faint sense of fellowship as someone who also knew solitude. I was waiting to see what it was gonna be sounding. At least it's not the children laughter. That was the creepiest. Okay. Just a final check. Yeah, it seems like those red words stopped happening. It's still weird that there's some part of the dialogue that's cut out in the log, but yeah, we're gonna be stopping here for today. So now we finally know the silver hair girl's name, Giselle, and she's living there with Michel. Not really sure how it's pronounced. Apparently both of them are cursed. He is saying that he's cursed and that those around him will die. And her, because of her no white hair and ruby red eyes, people call her a witch and persecute her. So apparently this is a tragic love story. So we're gonna be seeing them get closer to each other, to then something tragic have a twist somewhere, and things just take a turn for the worse and worse. Anyways, that is all for this episode, and see you next time. Bye!